It's uploading right now. Type shit, yeah. It's crazy because I be streaming on Twitch, like playing the game, but then it be a little pic like they could still see me too, like my camera, and like it do not be doing this. It don't be flagging or nothing. Wonder if it's like a setting or something. Or... Bro, hey, my brother said what up.
Hey, what up? What up?
We live, man. I'm trying to figure out how to stop it from lagging. Oh, it said we got 4 people in here. Hey, we lit, man.
Oh, God, peace.
What it do, man? Peace, what's good?
It's
crazy too, cause this just a test live. I'm trying to figure some stuff out. We finna be right back on though.
Troubleshoot real quick.
Man, that's tight, bro.
Yeah, that's nice.
Low key, the lag ain't too crazy. We'll just get on it. Alright, I'm finna change the title of this one back to Big John. Hell yeah. We live, man. That boy, look, he said he on stream too. Hell yeah, bro. I'm getting to it, man. And so, right where you left it off, I think you just pretty much left it off at the union of the two. You know what I mean? So we could really shift into like, so trauma in a way, but kind of how spiritual patterns come from the trauma almost. Somebody's belief, his whole belief system is sort of based upon, XYZ. Ain't no telling what, the fuck they done came across in their life, but we can guess that it's probably within this range of shit of like hip hop, pop, media culture, some kind of celebrity they into. It's just most people. Most people got some, I'm a fan of theirs or XYZ. And like, this start as a kid, you looking at damn Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella and shit. You knowing there's an underlying like what's called a collective unconsciousness. We'll talk about that, but there are things resonating with it. There are things inside you resonating with the different imagery, the different symbolism. You don't even know why. As a child, you just already connecting with it. You know what I mean? So understanding how such a innocent, such a clear time for a child could eventually lead to them doing different shit as an adult. Even that thought sound crazy until you start to actually look into how pattern recognition how pattern behavior starts, how early it starts. You could catch that shit, and like a lot of people, I think, especially us niggas, like just kind of have accepted certain things to be a part of the black culture or whatever you want to call it. But it's like, it's so much to niggas, bro. Like, you can't just box us into trauma. And I feel like a lot of people live with that. Even though I feel like it's changing. I mean, y'all know it, like our parents grew up with it, we grew up shit. We grew up in survival mode. They grew up having to do whatever they had to do. Ain't really have too much parental support. And which is why a lot of us see our parents try to maintain a relationship with their parents, with our grandparents, even if technically from what we know, even if they didn't do a good job raising our parents. A lot of us had that story. You see your parents striving to build something because they know how much that connection means to them, So the way trauma play out in people's lives is low key. It's sinister. You know what I'm saying? The way that it's played upon too, like it ain't like unintentional. Like they know they putting shit in these movies and they doing, XYZ to make sure that they impress upon your mind a certain imagery or a symbol to later rise to the surface again. You know, that's what Hollywood all about. That's what, you know, any of these social media platforms a lot of the times now is doing too, because it done shifted away from like movies and TV so much. Like, you still got that, but it's more so boom, boom, you know, like the big hitters. Everybody not just watching TV and different shit like that no more. They more so on the phones, which is why the whole, we didn't really mention this, but the whole sigils, it's becoming like a techno sigilism type shit.
Yeah.
Like, niggas is really learning how to program the magic and shit into the phone, and something that somebody could view on their phone, you know, because that's sort of where the lines or the barriers between the shit, that just show you how weakened that shit is right now. Like what they call it in, bro got the Yu Yu Hakusho shirt on, what they call it, the demon realm, the barrier keeping separating the human world and the demon realm. It's like foggy right now. That shit fuzzy, you know. So right now, all kind of shit possible. Meaning, you shouldn't be able to tap on your screen and get some kind of activation from a code or a sigil or something. But it's becoming realer than ever, bro. Like whatever somebody can, with their mind, believe, damn near is becoming a reality slowly but surely. You know, when they say the truth is stranger than fiction, reality stranger than fiction. Because when y'all really start to look at this shit, you see every fiction you done ever seen is based on some reality that happened. And it's not even based on like, oh, loosely based on, nigga, this happened, and then this what they wrote. Like, it's the exact same story. They just added in John Travolta or some shit. Like, this what they do. And then when you learn about the agreement of, I always forget what this shit called, but there's an old ass agreement around the 1400s when these niggas came into so-called power. Y'all could so-called rule this shit, but you have to reveal everything that you gonna do. And they don't have to reveal it. You have to reveal everything you gonna do, and you don't have to reveal it by saying, here's what we gonna do. This is exactly what we plan to do to you. That's not how they reveal it. They reveal it in the Drewski skit. And you laughing. And nobody said this is about you. You know? You laughing because it's satirical. You know? And that's how a lot of shit get played out through movies, scenes, little XYZ. They telling you exactly what either has been done in some area already or what is to come type shit.
That's the tricky shit with the entertainment, because that could be, a lot of times that's the agreement, you know what I'm saying? It's like your attention. I mean, it's like,
okay.
Drewski is a funny nigga, you know what I'm saying? He X, Y, and Z, I guess talented at that level. But like you said, this nigga is, in reality, a pawn for a lot of social programming. He at least serving as a symbol or a sign for something mundane like that, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, but you wouldn't know that if you just looking at it purely on the, okay, well, this nigga funny and I like the little shit that he do. I'm not saying that it's even wrong to like him or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But just knowing the shit for what it is, so you don't become victim to the social programming that's underlying all of that shit, you know what I'm saying? Because it's definitely there, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's important. Not to get tricked. I feel like that's a big part of this journey, you know what I'm saying? Especially in this society, is to not knowing what the tricks are and to be able to, you know, fathom something greater, you know what I'm saying?
Because today, people feel spiritually disconnected and psychologically fragmented. Now, when I say that, what is the image of the person that you see, right? Now, what I see is an Instagram baddie. That's what comes to my mind. So, what I'm trying to present is, and it don't gotta be a woman, it could be whatever y'all women lust over, or vice versa, whatever. The point I'm trying to make is candy-coated swine. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the things that get presented to the public, like, hey, this is what you should strive for. And really nearly all media and shit like that is to make you feel worse about yourself, make you buy into somebody else's idealism, make you join into a group/code, group think, Like, this shit dangerous. You know, y'all think it's dangerous to think about if other people religions made any sense. Like, they got motherfuckers scared to even think.
Yeah.
That's when the true danger creep in, because now we can't teach our kids the right way. Because now instead of teaching the kid, here is truth and here is how you can grow from this true source and learn about yourself. Instead of that, you got to teach them how to survive, how to make it through X, Y, Z and shit. You barely even got time to learn the shit that you need to learn for yourself, because some of us trying to take care of kids, X, Y, Z. You trying to help your family, and then it's crazy when, you know, you finding breakthroughs or you seeing growth, you seeing progress in your life, and that's when all of the shit start trying to come and pull you back. That's not for no reason. That's called correspondence. That's called as above, so below. You know what I mean? All this shit connected, and you the one creating it, because a lot of the 90% of the shit you tripping about, really, you could stop having anything to do with it, but something keeping you connected. And this for my young boys, for real, because some of my OGs, they on that too, but a lot of them, they done moved on to other problems. They in the OG phase of self-discovery and shit. You know, and some people is farther along in journeys at younger ages, older ages. It don't matter. That's the thing too, is stop trying to compare yourself, you know what I'm saying, to everything, because especially with like the way technology is right now, with the amplifying the confusion and people's identity issues, you know what I'm saying, that's just gonna add further to the issue of comparison. So just disconnect from that shit. You know, everybody got their own path. Find yours. What is your path? So I think one thing to focus on, especially when we're talking about the union of opposites, is learning which side are you. You know what I'm saying? Where do you stand at first? Because eventually you'll see the wholeness of yourself. But first you gotta understand to identify, because that's the first step in like healing and any change to happen. You gotta become aware of something first. You gotta find that shit and identify it. And once you could do that, now you could find the correct recipe, medicine, antidote, whatever the fuck you need for the situation. First you gotta see, well, what is we doing? Is we cooking for a group of 8-year-olds, or is this a group of, you know, 40-year-old millionaires type shit? We gotta know we gonna need some different ingredients type shit. On me. Hell yeah.
Man, like I feel like shit, the importance of questioning things, you know what I'm saying? Like questioning, I know me personally, I like to say question everything. I ain't necessarily saying everybody else can do that, but I like to question at least very important things, especially that we all believe that is like such a real thing as far as, you know, social standards and, you know, that type of shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
I love you, cuz. Appreciate you stopping through, finally.
yeah.
My bad.
No, you good. I was gonna say shit, and yeah, what was I saying?
My bad. I cut it all into shit.
Fuck it.
We is on live. I could go back and listen. This shit crazy. That's why let me see if it actually works. What the hell? What the hell? Alright, we back.
Alright. Yeah, so just the question thing, and I was saying that for the purpose of how you was just saying the psychological fragments, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, how do we unionize these things, you know what I'm saying? And like you were saying, you gotta identify, you know, the fact that it is a fragment, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's where the questioning shit comes in. It's like, okay, like for example, like I feel like I'll just take it to me. I was gonna make a different, but I'll just take it to a personal reference. Like I grew up in church, you know what I'm saying, as a Christian. There was a certain point of time in my life where nigga, you couldn't tell me, nigga, you could not tell me Jesus wasn't lit, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't the one, you know what I'm saying? Like that's something I
the true and living.
You know what I'm saying?
What you talking about? The true and living.
Hey, what that Fox nigga say? He said, bitch, you better praise
this.
God, nigga.
Like,
what do you say? But you better praise God or I'm a shooter. That's on God,
bro. That was you.
That was me for sure. But yeah, like, so, and this the thing, when I got to about 18, 19, I started really having questions, you know what I'm saying? And
questions like what?
Questions like, okay, like, what if I, here's a good one. So, you know how they say, if you don't believe in X, Y, and Z in Christianity, you basically going to hell. You know what I'm saying? So what about a motherfucker from a whole different culture, whole different side of the world, who don't even speak a language to have Jesus even in their natural, you know what I'm saying, lexicon of whatever, you know what I'm saying? They going to hell. They ultimately going to a bad place just because they don't believe in this shit. That sounds like a cult. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't have even realized that though had I not started having these type of questions. You know what I'm saying? And one question often leads to more and more, you know what I'm saying? So that question leads to, okay, if this shit is bullshit, how much else is bullshit about it? You know what I'm saying? And then I'm in church hearing the pastor, and I'm having questions in real time, like, okay, you saying shit like, you know, if you wear jeans or certain things in church, you know what I'm saying, you basically a certain way, you know what I'm saying? And that's a small level, I just started having these questions, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, having these questions allow you the space to even be receptive to something different and something potentially greater, you know what I'm saying? Often will be better, you know what I'm saying? Just going back to what you said too, it's like, all right, that was now the self or the God image or whatever you want to say, the transpersonal energy, whatever you want to call it, was a lot more fragmented because I was holding it as something in the sky or some almost human-like being, you know what I'm saying, who orchestrates humans in a human way, basically, you know what I'm saying, more or less, or whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying. Now, and now I'm able to see or have at least a little more holistic view of what the transpersonal or God image or whatever we call it actually is. And what that does on a practical level is take away the argument between people. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I was a Christian, say if you was a Muslim, if you was just a nigga who didn't believe in Jesus, or I'm looking at you like, nigga, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, even if it didn't get to a disrespectful level, I'm definitely looking at you as a separate, kind of strange, almost entity, only based on this shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay,
the fuck away from me.
Yeah, like, and that's why wars be starting.
I heard this nigga says he don't praise God.
You know what I'm saying?
Imagine that what you said, though. Taking away conflict. Imagine if that was like a tool people implemented. They knew how to, let me diffuse this. Bro.
Yeah, exactly.
It's too much peace. There's too much sauce.
Exactly. And it's like they don't even see the importance of reconciling because they so identify with this or that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk.
You know, and that's what's alienating the other person in your eyes, even though they really not even alienated. You know what I'm saying? It's just in your eyes. This is, you know what I'm saying? And this is happening on different levels. Like even with me, like when I was really coming into this shit, you know what I'm saying? It took me, I would just say, probably just up until recently to really accept and fully understand, like, hey, you are not better than nobody. You know what I'm saying? And not that I just had a crazy ego or nothing like that, but like, I recognize who I'm around, and they might be on one level or another as far as their consciousness, but I'm not here to be gauging other niggas' journeys and what they need to be doing. Like, I'm here to be in school for myself. Like, I can't be in class looking at like, oh, look how this nigga circling his paper and, you know, oh, look at the answer he just put on his shit. Nigga, that's his shit. Nigga, you got a time, you got an exam, a timed exam, my nigga, that you need to put in.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Take
and
time.
you said you looking at another nigga shit, the teacher finna be like, hey nigga, you got 2 minutes left. And your ass ain't had, you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
you gotta take the test. The test just keep restarting. The test just keep restarting.
You know, and it's like, all right, so
you done took the test a million times already.
And how do you pass the test? By realizing that everybody in this class is definitely individuals. You know what I'm saying? They in their own seats. You can't go sit in the same seat as that nigga. That's weird. You know what I'm saying? And impossible. So it's like, yeah, we parts, but we all sharing a similar experience in one way or another. And like I said, that don't mean we need to all be holding hands necessarily. You know what I'm saying? I guess if that's what you want to do, you know, whatever. But that also don't mean I need to, you know, walk past the next man and be like, oh, this nigga got red shoes on. I don't even fuck with red shoes. My family wear blue. You know what I'm saying? The blue side do this and that. You know what I'm saying? And the red side, red shoe niggas do this and that. Cause it's a lot of that shit. You know what
I'm a red shoe nigga.
Yeah, you know, like
yeah.
all the blue shoe niggas do. Like we get money over here. You know what I'm saying? We get money, we whatever over here. The red shoe niggas, they broke, they lame, you know what I'm saying? And that's just
and if people grow up and support that, nobody's enforcing that except the ones doing it. You know?
And it's funny because blue and red is both facing the same experiences, but they just funneling their conscious beliefs, thoughts, or whatever you want to call it, through some supposedly separate shit, such as blue and red. You know what I mean? Like, in reality, it's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like gangs. You know what I'm saying? Especially around here, like all you niggas is dealing with the same shit: poverty, crime, trauma, blah 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 blah. You know, in whatever side of town you on. You know what I'm saying? And instead of, you know, finding the common ground in that, you are polarizing really what is some mundane shit, such as your block. You know what I'm saying? And or whatever group, whatever you feel like you're a part of. And then that's no disrespect, but it's like shit, like you have to realize this shit for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying it's not, you have to like act like you're not from whatever side of town, but ultimately that's not an identity for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm from whatever. I grew up on the West or whatever. Like, yeah, that's a true thing. You know what I'm saying? But if you see yourself as your essence, then you understand that you are a universal being. So yeah, while my Leak Barnett ties in this body was definitely born in South Bend Memorial Hospital on whatever side of town you grew up in, nigga, in reality, it's in my essence, nigga, it's a lot more greater than that. And if I can move consciously from that state, then arguments inside of towns and territories and belief systems and group thinking and siding with this side or that side becomes a lot easier not to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you don't have to necessarily give up your opinions on shit, you know what I'm saying? But you don't make them your character. You don't make them your mask, or you don't make them, you know what I'm saying, the thing which you hold so much esteem, I guess, you know what I'm saying, for lack of a better word. Like, because that's an opinion, or all these fragments and all these things that we're talking about, that's just what they are, you know what I'm saying? The trouble is getting caught up on the one side or the other, or just the smaller part of the whole, you know what I'm saying? Because it's so much of that, and it's causing essentially just disharmony, which is wars, which is, you know, domestic shit, male and female division, whatever, you know, it's a bunch of examples of this shit, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, just being able to see these things for what they are, and then, okay, like you said, identify. So, for example, like, I know women have like a lot of them have the feminist rhetoric shit, you know what I'm saying, that's been implanted in a lot of they shit, they social programming. It's like, oh, you know, a woman is this and that, you know what I'm saying, a man is this and that, and that's what it is, you know what I'm saying, and you might have certain historical references, whether they fabricate or not, to back that up or whatever, and it's like, that is one part of the convo, you know what I'm saying, like whatever the shit that they bring up, such as the predatory shit on men's end or whatever, like that, or just the sexual and the less hypersexual shit. That's a good point for sure, you know what I'm saying? But it's a lot broader, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like where a lot of women get off, and I'm not saying all women, but they like to take a few qualities in men and emphasize them to blow them up to make them the total character or their total potential, you know what I'm saying? Almost, you know what I'm saying? And I guess that happens on the other side too, you know what I'm saying? But I guess I'm just, as a man, I'm giving it from my perspective. It's like, okay, and this is, I'll stop talking to you, but a way to, cause I done had these convos with, you know, shorties I done been with and dealt with and shit like that, you know, and it's like, okay, I don't want to act like niggas have not done no wrong as far as how we look at women, as far as how we done dealt with them, and how we refer to them, and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
To do that?
I do want to acknowledge that this shit came from a root place, you know what I'm saying? Meaning that I wasn't born, you know, having this perspective. Nigga, I wasn't even born knowing no words, you know what I'm saying? So what I mean, and all I'm saying that to say is that this shit that y'all referring to is stemming from a socially programmed place versus a natural essence, you know what I'm saying? And that's part of the work for niggas, is they need to find that essence in themselves that's beyond the physical pleasure and looking at women just only in that regard, you know what I'm saying? But just to bring it back, like I said, that shit comes from a certain place, you know what I'm saying? So that's questioning is, okay, where did I get these thoughts about women, you know what I'm saying? And how do they affect, how do they play out in the way I interact, in the way my relationships have played out with them? And for me, I would say, me personally, music, you know what I'm saying, TV, the people I'm around, family, friends, you know what I'm saying, not to blame it on them, but all these things have influence on my thinking, especially when you're kind of more green, not necessarily having a certain understanding or a certain awareness. It's like, you can kind of be more prone to that shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, questioning and getting to the root of all of that shit is where you allow space to begin something new and begin unionizing opposites, you know what I'm saying? And just to go back to the shit where I started talking about the church shit and the Christian shit, so yeah, I was talking about how I grew up in church, grew up believing, you know, what normal Christians believe. And now I have a more broader, more balanced, as I like to think, at least, you know, perspective of that. And now you can exist in the world with much less stress, much less low-key hate or judgment, you know what I'm saying, as you just going about, because you know that these differences, these fragments, these things, I like to call them kind of like outfits, you know what I'm saying, like certain beliefs, certain concepts we wear as outfits, you know what I'm saying, or certain, you can call it, maybe if you don't want to call it an outfit, call it your wardrobe, your style of, you know, clothing. I mean that by like, okay, like me, I like polos, I like denim pants, I like leather jackets, shit like that. And I'm saying that to say like that could also correlate to, okay, I have this certain style of thinking and beliefs, and you know, my certain level of understanding is under this so-called bracket or this so-called style, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that to say these things get taken off. What's under that is a naked human body, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't no fucking brands on it, it ain't no language on it, it ain't no, you know what I'm saying? And even under that is a skeleton. We all have skeletons, we all have bodies, you know what I'm saying? Now, one nigga like this, like bro, wearing a do-rag, I'm wearing a hat, you know what I'm saying? I got a black shirt on with black pants, he got, but we both wearing clothes, and then we both have bodies under that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, we could focus on, oh, this nigga got pink, you know what I'm saying, on the back of his shirt, and I got red on, like, what you doing wearing pink on your shit, you know what I'm saying? Oh, pink, niggas with pink on their shit, they do this thing, they do that thing, and niggas with red on their shit.
Niggas with red, some fucking,
you know what I'm saying?
It's just that quick.
And that's just a small example of how shit can get fragmented, and that's missing the point of both you niggas wearing clothes. Both you niggas is actually in the same building.
How a nigga get caught up in that though? Like, how did people get in the mindset of that? Of like seeing one group and identifying with that, and then needing to like battle or put down some other group. Because what even are we saying right now? You just described it, and I tried to say it, and it was difficult. Group, it's like people want to get into groups and fuck with each other.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know,
they wanna.
We better than y'all. It comes down to some self-esteem too.
Yeah, and it's more of a social thing than it is like a personal experience that really breaks through to a certain realization. Like I feel like even Christians that really feel like they have a real communion with God, or had an actual experience with God, or whatever they feel like is God, you know what I'm saying? I feel like even them, like they exist in the world kind of differently than maybe the average Christian, you know what I'm saying? That is really just in it because that's what they've grown up to always believe, and they fuck with going to church, and they got church friends, and you know what I'm saying? And not that any of that shit is bad, but it's like shit, like
that's kind of how they got into that pattern of thinking.
It doesn't go further than.
So you saying that pattern of thinking could also play into why people end up in gangs and shit like that too? It connects? Tell me more.
It's exactly connected. And
shit.
it's like, okay, this is how it's connected, because when you have a thought, you know what I'm saying, and this is how you identify with the thought. You start to react to it as if it's real, you know what I'm saying, and that's how you make it real, you know what I'm saying, and this happens every day, really almost every moment for most people. Is like, and this is the base, I would say, of it, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna try to walk it to the top of the ladder. This is the base, you know what I'm saying, is identifying with thought, you know what I'm saying? And what I mean is like identifying with thought versus knowing that you have a thought, but also knowing that the thought is not you, you know what I'm saying? Thoughts come and go, you remain, you know what I'm saying? And it's not about not acknowledging these thoughts or to downplay thoughts as if they're not significant, but saying that to only the problem is to only know yourself or to only consciously move as if that is all there is to life or to said circumstance, you know what I'm saying? So how do you know that you're identified with a thought? You know that you're identified with a thought by if somebody has an opposing view, so to speak, like if I say I like oranges and bro is like, nah, fuck oranges. I don't like oranges. I think they're sour, you know what I'm saying? I really fuck with apples, you know what I'm saying? If I really felt the way it was like, had the notion of argue, like, hold on, nigga, like, no, I know that oranges are, you know what I'm saying? My mama used to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could sit up here and get emotionally stirred, you know what I'm saying, about that shit, and that's how you know you just have become, you're identified with that thought, you know what I'm saying? That the fact that you like oranges or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you can replace oranges with whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, and you feel like, I would feel like he's wrong because he said he like apples or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how that shit, the right and wrong, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bring it up to that, you know what I'm saying? So, A, being identified with the thought, which will make you have either emotional or just a thought reaction, or both, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe even a physical reaction for a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? So that's where the root problem, I would say, comes in. And then if you don't, once that shit compounds, it's like, okay, the person who is identified with their thoughts without realizing they are the awareness behind it starts to separate themselves, you know, on a social and a mental level, even if they don't necessarily preach it publicly, you know what I'm saying? And you start to look at people and things as, oh, it's that thing and I'm this thing, you know what I'm saying? And while that may be true on one level, in the grand scheme and the ultimate truth, it's all one song, you know what I'm saying? Like the instruments, like it's like a song, it's like a band, you know what I'm saying? One nigga is drumming, one nigga is on the vocals, you know what I'm saying? Somebody playing violin, piano, whatever, but the song is one thing, you know what I'm saying? And it's so yeah, just being identified with thoughts and then accepting the fragments for what they are, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to disregard the trauma I may have went through or the experience I may have experienced, such as you know, relationship trauma or, you know, depression or, you know, certain things like that. But you also don't want to make it the end of the story. You know what I'm saying? You want to, okay, where if I'm in these states,
what you did after that?
Yeah, like if I'm in these states, why am I feeling like this? You know what I'm saying? And where did it come from? You know what I'm saying? And once I feel like you start genuinely asking those questions and diving into that, it leads to more questions, which eventually lead to answers. You know what I'm saying?
And to looking at a lot of that shit, bro, talking about, as I got in on a personal, when I was doing the shit that he describing, things that helped me was stories and mythologies. Learning about myself was easier after I seen the story after I watched Shrek as an adult. You feel me? Or you go to the original, what's it called? The German story that originates from. And when you look at all of these fairy tale shit, it's hella in that movie Shrek, but all of those are based on actual folk tales that were stories told throughout different periods of history. And looking into just looking into the symbolism, nigga, learning what that shit did to me, unintentional, like, I didn't know what it was doing to me. It was being done, and I was accepting it because I'm watching the shit and, you know, boom, and going to the channels and whatnot. But now as an adult, I'm understanding what role symbols play overall, the emotions that evoke and shit. So when bro talking about learning about yourself really and being able to acknowledge these parts of yourself, it's crazy because it's almost like trying to just learn fucking French and you don't even know shit about nothing. You don't got a teacher, you don't got the internet, you don't got reference books, you just got French words. No English words to describe it. That's what learning about you. It was a whole different thing for me. Because I was like, I know how to self-reflect. I've always done that. But if you self-reflecting and you always come up with, oh, no, the other person tripping. Something is going wrong. Something going wrong. You got to be able to be like, no, they was tripping, but I was tripping too. You got to, even if your tripping was this small and the whole problem was really because of them, you still got to account for this seed that you planted for it, you know. And for me, the mythology helped do that because it break down different psychological motifs. Of course, Joseph Campbell, you know what I'm saying? Carl Jung talk about the subconscious a crazy amount, as well as like y'all can see it on the wall back here, the Kabbalah, the Tree of Life. Look into this. This is what this is describing. Your divine mind, not this right here. It's talking about that shit that project beyond the physical shit. The Kabbalah, Egyptian mythology. That's one that's easy to. Cause as a kid we into that Greek shit, right? They teaching us about Zeus and the whole time you don't know Zeus, Osiris. You don't know Athena. You know what I'm saying? And which gods all these new deities came from, you know what I mean? And then you start to learn more about in different ways. You learn about how these gods came from those gods, then how these guys came from those gods, Greek gods came from Egyptian gods, then you start learning about how Greek culture came from Egyptian culture, but with a twist though, it's never just direct. They always, whatever they take, they twist the shit. So then you start to see how boom, the people, and the mentality of the people, and what was going on with them, and why they had these certain mythologies and what it was supposed to represent. And then once you see how these people had a deep understanding of shit that science called themselves discovering today and want to present it to you like they just discovered some shit. Nigga, the Dogon tribe had knowledge of the Sirius star system hundreds of years ago. How is this possible? When y'all just so-called came up with telescopes and technology, it just lets you know the world ain't what it seemed. You know, the world ain't what it seemed. And you are not what you seem to yourself early on. A lot of times we grow up thinking Lil Wayne the coolest nigga, and I used to want to be like that nigga. Damn, I'm gonna wear my hat and sag my, hell yeah, the bitches love. You a kid and you don't know shit. You feel me? So you just going off of whatever makes sense in your childlike brain, you know? Because some of us are so blocked from that spiritual portion of ourselves, especially early on. In a true sense, we might have Jesus, or we might have something that can allow us to access that pure part of ourselves because technically we innocent. But that don't mean that you just good. That's what fuck people, some people up to. I'm getting off the topic of now of self, but I do want to say that be fucking people up too. The Jesus shit could work out real well for you, because if you in hell serving a demon, shit might look a little better for you in hell than the other people in hell who not serving the demon. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even like you gotta go kill, steal, or rob somebody. That ain't even it. You could motherfucking just be playing your role in the system. Yeah. You know? And then not doing nothing to switch up out of it. But I do want to say that too about, learning yourself, the knowledge of self is becoming like a trending topic now too. Like and like OG told us, you feel me? Like you feel me? Panic said about that shit too. Many people have mentioned, but whenever something go mainstream, that's when you know they got a plan coming, and you need to get the far away from whatever the fuck that shit. That's the same thing with when the woke shit start popping online. You know, everybody claiming they think because they done saved every reel of a motherfucker saying, and you know the ancient Hittites wasn't that, and they done saved that. You think you doing something, you know, and it's fucked up because nobody's better or lower. This ain't about that. Nigga, I'm trying to tell you, they're preparing information to fill you with the same way they've been doing your whole life. They thinking they doing some new shit, or you think it's some new shit you coming into. They done took the information, spent it up, and got an AI voice telling it to you now. A nigga could literally type the AI, take this, but change the story to lean towards white people were not that bad.
Yeah.
And just boom and put no, but it's the literal true story of how they came, but except they remove all the parts of we was rolling around and shit and all the stories you always hear about a European motherfucker. But what's crazy is it's true for one. It's crazy, but it's true. And two, you can still see it today. There's disproportionate amounts of violence happening in those communities. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at the people who numbers are lower, it's because they're perpetuating violence of all kind of war crime level of shit in other communities. They're still responsible for the violence, just not to one another as much. You know what I'm saying? And when you speak on these things and then it come up as, oh, you anti somebody, that's when you know it's a red flag and there's something going on, you know? So like this shit, what I just kind of briefly spoke on, it's important, but honestly that shit don't even matter at all, especially if you're not aware of yourself. The step one to everything is becoming, that's what I talked about last night on the stream a little bit too, is like, I'm saying certain shit and I'm like, at this point, man, if you don't know this shit already, you're super like far behind. If this shit ain't resonating with you when you kind of like, I always knew this a little bit. Man, listen, we ain't here to judge about money. You know, do this shit and get to where you need to be at. Because the step one is being able to see straight through some bullshit.
That's real.
Being able to see through the bullshit of yourself. You look in the mirror and you like, yep, that's me. I be XYZ. I be fucking hoes and I be doing crack and shit. Or whatever the fuck you doing. You gotta be able to accept that and understand what that means. My kids is gonna grow up with a crackhead dad, like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta just be real. I'm taking it to extremes, but you have that power to change whatever the fuck you got going on, you know?
No, that's a fact.
Real talk.
I was gonna ask you too, do you have a story or a certain myth that you feel like helped you, you know, whatever circumstance, it ain't even gotta be personal, like, you know, crazy, but yeah, if anything, just for, you know, motherfuckers watching it.
Man, the first one that come to mind, for sure, and I'm not sure if it's like, this is the exact thing it helped me with, that ain't even, but what I know it did was help me with perspective, which is what a lot of the shit that I be looking at helped me with, is understanding the concept. And the thing, I remember it was such a weird ass name, it was like the Yammerder Garden, the Yammerder Garden. It was something, that book right there, that green Joseph Campbell book, that one down there. Okay. I remember reading about it because what it did was, basically it was saying how, I forget where, I think in Africa, somewhere in the bush or somewhere, the myth was that there is like basically the dick eating pussy. The pussy that eats your dick off type shit. And it was like they made like this character to like scare the young man into being a man. Because it was to evoke such an emotion in them that they mentally, something shifts and something happens where they go from being a boy to know you're a man now. And the way they did that was through trauma, through repetition, through a ritual. And they all acted out this ritual. So like, boom, me, you, we've been through this process. We've been through the ritual, so we know how it go. So when the new young nigga, he 11, he finna be ready to go through male puberty, whatever is our ritual of you a man now. He getting ready to go through it. What happens is like, we set up this thing where we take him through these trees and we set this area. It's basically all set up. I don't remember exactly how it went, and I know I'm fucking it up, but it's all set up to put you in a state of mind. There's no drugs involved, and then at the end you get cut. You know what I'm saying? You get cut right up the middle of your dick. It don't cut your shit in half like fire, but it scratch you up along the bottom. They like cut along that bottom, and that scar and that feeling, of course, that pain, that is enough. That emotion, that will, intention, and the action together transform that nigga. And from then on, he don't walk around like Lil Jack no more. That's bitch, I'm Big Jack. You know what I'm saying? Put some respect on my name. I'm a man now. You know what I'm saying? And to me, one thing that did to me was just show me, it ain't necessarily do nothing to me, but it did show me how the different cultures get you to desired outcome. Because in America, right, they say they want you to become a man as well. America said they want you to be a man, but they raise niggas to be pussy. They done took the dad out the home and XYZ. But yeah, that meant for me was like crazy because they had a whole mythology behind it. I ain't really explained that part. But basically they act out this whole ritual, and then at the end they have the woman come dance around the young nigga after he done had his dick cut and his blood running down his leg, and part of it was to like symbolize the union of opposites. Who else have blood running down their leg? A woman when she have her period. And now your dick split open, kind of how a pussy split open. It was like some weird shit to symbolize the union of genders and how your pain, the male pain is not carrying a child and the, you know, menstruation and shit like that. Your pain is protecting, and boom, so you gonna feel this pain, you gonna boom boom. Yeah, and like even though that shit crazy and I would never do that to my kids, for the time and place it fit what they were doing. And the people of the tribe, like when dude was interviewing them, that's all they knew. None of them was like, man, I wish I lived somewhere else, get me out of here. I mean, at least based on his reports, you know, but that shit's just crazy though, because it literally shows how mythology can cut straight through to the part of you that will transform you into something else. For one, now I understand that came with a clear will, like a clear desire or intention, as well as the action to actually do it. And it came with some blood. When motherfuckers say blood, sweat, and tears, if you gotta look at what it means, your blood, that's a sacrifice. Your sweat, that's the action. Your tears, that's the emotion. Like that's what creates something. You know what I mean? And the things that have been created from the blood, sweat, and tears recently and for the past few decades has been a whole propagation of just some like anarchy, but disguised as like chaos, disguised as like, no, everything's fine. Like, nah, we fine. You know, like what you was talking about.
You seen that the meme with the dog with the house on fire? You like, this is fine.
That's literally, yes, bro. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I love that meme so much because it be so much people like in that situation. They're like, no, I'm good. What are you talking about? Like, bro, get your ass out. Oh shit, get out of here. You gotta get out of there before a motherfucker just sitting there talking about, no, I'm good. And that's but once again, everything I see in twos damn near, which is fucked. I'm the type of nigga you hate to have an argument with. I just agree with you. I'm like, yeah, man, you're right though. You know, but it's fucked up because the same person sitting there tripping from the burn alive is the same person I can have some respect for in certain instances. If you just tripping, you know, boom, you just crazy as hell, I guess you could respect that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the person who understands this shit don't really matter. Everything is good, you know, but people get stuck there. God's gonna handle it. God's gonna take care of me. Trust in God. And if I don't trust in God, I'm not trusting in God if I get up and walk out this building, because I know God gonna save me. Y'all ain't heard that joke, you know? The dude drowning, and somebody come by try to save him. He's like, no God gonna save me. Then a ship come. No God gonna save me. Then another nigga with a lifeboat come. No God. Then he drown and go to heaven. And he's like, God, why you ain't save me? And then he's like, nigga, I sent you 3-4 boats, nigga. What the fuck you want me to do? You gotta get your ass in the boat. Y'all have all heard this. Like we all hear these parables and be like, yeah, I got the knowledge too. I know this. Hell yeah. No, the fuck you don't. You dumb as shit. You dumb as shit. And the things about you that it is resonating with need to be dismantled and rebuilt into repurposed into something new, not rebuilt. Because you don't want to do this shit again. Like the way in the Bible when they say, what'd he say? Be fruitful, multiply, and what else he say? Be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth, right? What is replenish? What is replenish?
Refresh,
I'm gonna ask bro, what? I'm gonna fuck with bro for a second. If I'm replenishing this bowl of candy, what did that tell you about the bowl? I just filled it up, right?
Yeah.
Now, is that the first time I filled it up? If I'm replenishing, ain't that mean the bitch was filled before? In Genesis, man, he tell these niggas, or whenever, Leviticus, whatever the fuck, be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. He telling you it's been a wipeout already. The nigga who ruled this bitch steadily been, what? Shit go wrong, flood. Shit go wrong, burn it with fire. Shit go wrong, earthquake this bitch into a different type of continent. That's what's been going on. the type of shit that motherfuckers talk about when when people talk about this type of shit, that's when shit starts seeming crazy. Like, oh, what we talking about? Yeah, nigga, yeah, it's spiritual warfare going on, and we sitting here trying to explain to niggas, look, there's some shit you can focus on that help you get on point, help you stay on point if you already on that. Because everybody's straight from path and shit, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You know, and we at a time, I'm sure you feel it too, but I'm at a point where I'm not just playtime just over though. Like it's like whatever, you know, community building and shit that could happen, cool, but I'm not concerned with that shit. The shit I'm concerned with is self. You know, family, they gonna be good and all that. Like we straight, of course, but yourself, you know, and impressing upon the minds of the youth just things they could use. I don't even need me to tell you and then you like, okay, I got it. And I don't even think that's even possible. What I am saying is to fill y'all with tools, nigga, so y'all can know what the fuck going on. Pause. So y'all can know what the fuck going on within yourself. And a lot of what's going on, I can guarantee you, is just chaos and just terror and bullshit. That's what goes on in a lot of people's daily life. They make it do this. Make it through a day, one day. Just one. When you wake up, have this thought in your head. I'm only gonna say positive things. You're gonna fuck up before you walk out the door. You're gonna fuck. This is an exercise I like to do regularly. Challenge myself. How long can I go without being negative? Negativity is a part of life. You're gonna deal with the polarity. That's what this whole shit about. The union of opposites, right? The yin and your yang though. Don't forget your yang though. You can't leave the house without your yang though. You feel me? Come on, bro. Like, it's a part of what's gonna go down. So how do you join those opposites? You gotta look at the light and dark side, the conscious mind and your subconscious mind. That shit down in the shadows back there that you can't see, but it's there. You know? And so you gotta get your mind right to even be a warrior, to be any kind of soldier in the spiritual warfare. And this ain't to go throw your life away and feel like you gotta fight some battle. It's literally just for you. You fighting for yourself, you know, and you throwing your life away if you don't do the work. Even though you're gonna be replenished once again, because you've been here before, you're gonna be right back doing the same shit, fucking up. Because this whole, you seen the Matrix? You know what I'm saying? That's I mean, you might not be hooked up to some machine in some other real world, but there's something like that going on. You feel me? This ain't the real you, you know. And it's fucked up because everything we've been taught is this is what we got. You need to acquire things through your life. You know, you need things, and you need to have power over people, and you need to be right, and you need to be righteous, and you need to be good. You know what I'm saying? A good man and a good, strong believer in Christ, and just a leader of the people. And they make out this big, grand thing. But everything in society, every single thing in society is intentionally set up to stop you from doing that at all, and to totally discourage you from wanting to do that shit. That's why when people meet teachers who see and believe in them and little shit like that, they be fucking these kids' life up in the best way. You know what I'm saying? But we don't got too many of that. We got people struggling. You ain't even want to be a teacher. Why the fuck you in this bitch teaching? You ain't even want to be a teacher, nigga. You found this job and you ain't here doing it because it ain't too hard, bro. It's just crazy, the conditions of the world. And then when you get to look at current events and shit, and all this shit match up with biblical prophecy, and you get to just see how this shit play out through the gematria, you get to see how these niggas is telling you what they doing 20 years before they do it, and then when it's playing out, we acting like we don't know what's coming next. Like COVID-19, how many movies did they have versus quarantine and XYZ? And they just prepping y'all. They prepping y'all. They getting that pussy wet. They getting that shit wet before they dive in and just start punching your shit. Just in your shit. That's it, bro. Only the subconsciously, because they have to tell you, and they don't gotta tell you through mass news and national news alert. You're in danger. No, nigga. No, they gonna tell you through a reel on your phone, through some bullshit. You know, and then that count. And it's fucked up because you gotta take accountability of yourself and your actions. You gotta stop blaming outside of you. You feel me? That's why when you look at the struggles that men and women having today, you can just stop it. The whole argument right there, you can just end it and be like, shit, it started with me. It started and end with me. I don't got no struggle with the man and you got to get there though, because when you look around and you see all that bullshit, all you seeing is that bullshit in yourself. That's what one of my best teachers taught me, is that. And not in school, not in Adams High School. I'm talking about real school life, nigga. Like, when you see someone else and you see something you don't like, you're just seeing yourself. There's never a time you should look at somebody else and be like, man, this nigga got on red. You know what I'm saying? Like you was saying. But it's the same thing, and then you start to separate and divide it. Abraham Lincoln, who was a Moor, nigga. His mama was a, what the fuck was her name? I forget the name of that shit. Look it up. United we stand. Divided we fall, nigga. Like, they be telling you low key.
For real.
You know, everybody heard of, well, if everybody just get together and don't go to work for that, you be hearing the little, ain't nobody gonna do it for real, bro. Because as soon as you do it, this shit fall apart, and really, people surviving on this shit. They might even really want to do it, but shit, my little daughter don't know how to fend for herself while I go hunt for food. My wife is pregnant, we don't know how to cook food without a stove. We don't know how to hunt. And think about that, if shit really went left. What motherfuckers gonna do, bro? You're fucked. We all fucked, bro. You gonna run out of bullets. I keep the 19, nigga. Keep that iron on me even when my clothes wrinkle. That's gonna run out. You feel me? And you don't really want to be out here sticking people up in there. Imagine that shit go left, nigga. What you gonna do for real? And they know that, and they play you on that, bro. This whole society is set up on some shit that is meant to keep your ass under wraps because you're powerful. You really strong as shit, but your ass caught up in whatever this celebrity doing, and so is Cardi B and Stefan. Nigga, who give a fuck, bro? You niggas is tripping. At the same time, once you come into, I think, that understanding and knowing of yourself, you can really do whatever the fuck you want to do as long as you're applying it for a purpose. You know, some real shit. Because who to tell me I can't enjoy, you know, Cardi B songs, nigga? She made a bitch make good music, nigga. Like, you know, she don't gotta be a bitch. But then when you look at XYZ, you understand all this shit only mean what you let it mean, for real. You know? So like, man, how you asked me about that mythology, I was gonna ask you the same thing, but I thought about something else too. Is what do like in your description too, when you see something like in mythology, different creatures and shit, what do that mean to you? Like, for example, a dragon in mythologies, what do that portray to you, or what significance do dragons have at all?
Yeah, I like to this one book I read called A Little Bit of Symbols by Henry Reed.
Oh, yeah.
It really it says something pretty important about you can spot a symbol or make a symbol by knowing its properties. And I'm saying that to say, like, for example, like when I look at a dragon, a dragon, it has wings, right? Which means it can fly above Earth. You know what I'm saying? To me, wings always kind of like symbolize a higher perspective. You know what I mean? A dragon is a mythological character. You know what I'm saying? Meaning it don't have no, I guess, it's not real. It's not materially real. But that's good, you know what I'm saying? Because for one, like I said, the wings to me would symbolize, I guess, a higher respect. And this is just in one regard. You can look at this shit, you know.
I just like to you. Yeah.
But yeah. So the fact that it's not an existing creature, I guess, right now or whatever, like you could say that represents an otherworldly. I mean, or not only say otherworldly, or just different, broader or transcendent state of mind or state of consciousness awareness. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like.
So can I recap real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
My bad. So you saying when you think of a dragon, you think of things like something that could fly above this realm, maybe even to the stars. What else did you say?
And I said, what I say, wings, and the fact that they're an otherworldly creature, meaning they don't necessarily exist on Earth You know what I'm saying? As a real, whatever, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? That represents.
So they could almost represent a higher nature.
Absolutely.
And would you consider dragons a serpent?
Yeah. So you can say that too. And then what do serpents do? You know what I'm saying? They shed. You know what I'm saying? They got certain characteristics. And I was also gonna say too, things like flight and flying above Earth and such things like that. Like, the cool thing about symbols is that you could like look at a plane or a bird or certain things with that these properties or characteristics match up in the same type of symbolic way, in a way. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's not like, you know, I mean, obviously a bird exists, you know, as a real thing, but like the flight, you know, and the being able to see from a higher perspective, you know what I'm saying? Being able to, you know, literally have a different view, you know what I'm saying? I feel like shit, all of these shits is, they have a lot of symbolic value, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you can correlate them to yourself, which is really the work, the whole point, you know what I'm saying? And how do I correlate that to myself, you know what I'm saying? I could, like this how you kind of got these figures on the table right here, you know what I'm saying? I could put a dragon, you know, on my table or just somewhere in my daily view, and that could make room consciously for me to hold space for higher thoughts, higher awareness in certain regards, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, yeah, that's how dragon or how symbolism can help you just on a practical, simple level like that. I don't know if I really answered your question like that. Hopefully I did.
Yeah. What about like other themes? What else come to mind with different type of things? I don't know, labyrinths, the phoenix, just different type of creatures you hear about, and like griffin. I don't know. What do you find significant about? What to you is some of the most significant imagery in mythology?
Okay. That's a good one.
To you,
it's a lot.
Yeah.
But I'll just say I don't know. I won't say this is necessarily the most important, but I will say this is one that comes up to mind that has helped me a lot recently. And this ain't even no complex myth. This is one about the frog in the pot, the boiling frog story or whatever. And this story, low key, I don't think it's even scientifically true. I don't even care about that. But anyway. So basically the story is, if you ain't heard, I'm just saying for the viewers or whatever, if you ain't heard this story, it's basically where if you put a frog in a pot in water, right? And
in like cool water.
Yeah, cool water. It starts off cool, right? And you gradually turn the temperature up. It's not gonna jump out. Versus if you was to just, you know, put him in some straight boiling water, he's gonna jump out as soon as he feels the water. You know what I'm saying? And I was just, I think to me personally, that's just symbolic of being too comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Or being unaware of the totality of the situation you're in, you know what I'm saying? And that could refer to a situation you're in mentally or physically, you know what I'm saying? Meaning like, you may hold a certain belief or a certain condition or a certain projection that is making you act in a certain way, which is bringing you a certain type of result, you know what I'm saying? And if you, and it's because you have become comfortable in this water, and the water would symbolize in this case your thoughts, your beliefs, your deep-seated understandings and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Once these things get, once you get comfortable sitting in that water, and then circumstances come up to turn that heat up, aka challenge deep-seated thoughts, your beliefs, your everyday understandings, that's a representation of the heat being turned up to a boiling aka uncomfortable circumstance. You know what I'm saying? And if you are not, let me see, if you're too comfortable, you know what I'm saying, by the time that heat go up, you dead, you know what I'm saying? Because you have not questioned, you have not identified, you have not unionized, you know what I'm saying? You've been sitting in this like a pig in the mud, you know what I'm saying? I was just thinking about this the other day, you know. They pigs, they roll around and they shit, and it's nasty, you know what I'm saying? And it's like shit. Symbolically, that's kind of like this situation.
To them, they having a blast though.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything great.
It's cool. Whole time they stuck for one day in a pig pen, and then you're rolling in your own filth.
Let me say this real quick, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. If you a pig. Mm-hmm. If you a pig, my bad. Big dog, I ain't know, my bad. Real I thought talk. You was a human, cuz. I thought you was a... If you... And you gotta ask yourself, damn, I'm doing pig shit. That's when the reflection, the self-realization, to look at the man in the mirror. You know, shout out MJ on me.
Real deal.
That's it. Go ahead.
I'm glad you put that in there. And then, so, just going back to the frog, so... Yeah, that whole mud situation is symbolic of the water and you being comfortable in that water. And like I said, the circumstances and the uncomfortable situations and thoughts is representative of the temperature being turned up. And it's like, okay, you have to know when to jump out before that heat gets turned up. You know what I'm saying? And it's like and I'll just take it back to me to direct it personally. Like, I feel like for me, I was real comfortable with the way I saw women, for example. You know what I'm saying? Like on some player shit, like just like options type shit. You know what I'm saying? More, not really on a deep level. You know what I'm saying? Just to sum it up, like not seeing through to the true essence. You know what I'm saying?
Seeing them as like a, yeah, you just said
more just a physical, like literally just a body or
not so much a person.
Yeah.
More so like you just you here for sexual things,
you know what I'm
and
saying?
my enjoyment.
You know what I'm saying? And then I was comfortable, so comfortable in that. You know what I'm saying? It took certain things happening, such as like, you know, cheating on my lady. You know what I'm saying? I'll be upfront about that, and just other shit too that make you kind of take a step back and be like, hold on, nigga, like, what are you doing really? You know what I'm saying? And not only what are you doing, why are you doing it? You know what I'm saying? Where is this shit coming from? You know what I'm saying? And that's just a whole tunnel.
Because if you let women, the idea of the, I don't want to generalize y'all, but if you let women answer it, why am I doing it? Because you full of shit?
Yeah.
Because you a bitch ass nigga, because you ain't shit, your whole family, you trash. Oh, you know?
Yeah.
Now, I think there's something to be said there too. I'll to jump in again, but I like that. You working these ideas. It's fucked up because you wrong, right? For cheating, you wrong.
Wrong, absolutely.
Now, do that make you trash and horrible and boom, boom, right? Sure, make sure. Whatever, yes or no, I don't think it matters. I think the point is what you finna do from there. Because we get too pulled into, I'm XYZ because I did this. No, you did that, and that was you while you did it. But I mean, what's up now? People use too much past to excuse what they doing in the present, and that's how the future become the past. Because you still stuck in how the fuck Nene made you feel, you know, when you putting your dick in Nene, and then now, you feel me? Now you fucked up about it because you think you just ain't shit. You gotta learn to break from the cycle, bro. On me.
And that is the importance of seeing yourself as something more than just your personal experiences. Because then it's not the fact that you don't have the personal experiences anymore. It's just that you're able to look at them from a less personal. They affect you in a less personal way. You know what I'm saying? So you can you see the grand scheme of things ultimately, and then not only do you see the grand scheme, you see yourself in the grand scheme. And then you see yourself as more so holistic, you know what I'm saying, versus fragmented, you know what I'm saying? And it's like that brings peace and it also brings understanding, you know what I'm saying? So it's like for example, like in this situation, I could be taking it real personal and real to heart, like, man, I'm fucked up, you know what I mean? Like, I did this and that, you know what I mean? And I'm basically gonna have to live in this forever. Like, I could just live in that choice and live from like, oh, this how this shit going, that's just how it is, and that's my life. Or I could take this situation and be like, okay, it definitely happened and it's happening, but it's why it's happening for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And
My granny liked to put it like this. She call it, and then what?
and then what, exactly. And what you saying is like, okay.
You can apply it to so many things. Nigga talking shit, and then what? Nigga out here homeless, fucked up, and then what? You know, there's so many stories. You never know what's next in your motherfucking life. The only person who decided is you, obviously. It's just to break free from the patterns is the hardest part because we can't even see it, this shit. You don't even know what you don't know type shit. And it just fuck you up. And then by the time you do come around to like, okay, let me unionize, let me collect all these pieces of myself. Shit, it's a lot of pieces to be found.
Yeah.
You know?
And then like with every choice you make, that programming then to get deeper, you know what I'm saying? Just like with muscles, the more you repetition, that bitch gonna get swollen and swollen. You're gonna be able to lift, you know, a little more, and that shit gonna be harder.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
That's like an opposite of, yeah.
You
I
know?
mean,
So
man, so union of opposites, what we're talking about is true evolution taking place from balance. Not from unbalance, not from, oh, you know, this is my favorite one and I'll do that shit. So no, it's a balance and it's part of the same thing. It's all you. So not to deny no parts of yourself. One exercise I like to do is meeting your child self. So this required for me, it don't exactly gotta be a quiet space, but I need to be able to be left alone for at least 5-10 minutes and just visualizing like somewhere you was comfortable as a child, if you even have that. And if you don't, go to one of them places. Go to the closest thing you could find to peace as a child, and go there in your mind and then just meet your younger self and just talk to them. You feel me? See yourself as a kid. Ask them how they feel. Tell them that you okay in the future. Let them know things, that everything gonna be alright. Like, imagine if you could talk to yourself and what you would say. Even just the thought of that is making me somewhat emotional right now.
Real talk.
When you sit there and spend the time doing this regularly, or at least you can engage in some form of this kind of intention, you know, it don't gotta be this one, because there's another one I do where you go to where you felt super afraid as a child. And that's a lot more to take on, but once again, super useful. Beginning to make things for yourself that just help you maintain a balance or rebalance when things get off a scale or whatever it's supposed to be at. Because what we're talking about right now is how to balance, and how mainly the masculine and feminine energies within each person can get unbalanced, and what that leads to is kind of like Ro has described a lot of that. And what we're trying to describe is how to, not only how to refocus that, but how to look for signs of, okay, these things ain't been going right. Maybe it got something to do with what I got going on in my personal life, or what else could it be, you know, that's causing all this dysfunction? Because the world love order out of chaos. That's what they hold Freemasonic, that's what they whole lodge ideology is based on order out of chaos. The whole Aleister Crowley shit, like, you know, once again, taking the word and mixing it. That's they whole, these niggas got one move. Like, if you fought them on a video game, they not, and then kicking and shit, and, no, these niggas got one move. That's their only move, is they got one move. And within that, it done spread out to a web of just cascading bullshit that we are now the ones emanating, you feel me? because we the ones that shine. And it's fucked up because when we talk about things like this, it could almost seem like it's going back to what we started off talking about, which was the division of people. All dividing. Well, here's the thing. People are already divided. We're not all the same, although we all are here for a purpose. Our purposes are not all the same, and some of us don't even know what that is. So it's fucked up to get caught up feeling like you gotta save XYZ. We're not here to save everybody, but I will save whoever will grab along on the shit and want to change something. I'll save who I can, but I'm not here trying to save a motherfucker. I just want to let y'all niggas know there's some great shit happening, bro. Like, in your life, if you allow that, like, I forgot who it was that was explaining to me. You could see whatever you want to see. You could see love. I think it was Archetypes. He said you could see love. You could breathe love. Or you could breathe hate. And then it was funny because when he said it, when he's saying the love, it sounded like you can breathe and see love. You can just taste love. You can feel love all over your body. Then he was like, or you could breathe hate. And when he said hate, it became reality for me. I was like, oh yeah, I know people who do that. I've done that. But when he describing the love, I'm like, that sounds so good. Like you can almost feel it. And you really can. It's good. So you could just see and beam love out of your eyes unto everywhere that you are. But you gotta remind yourself of your powers often because of the daily distractions. The whole thing about separating is not even separating each other. That's a natural effect from separating us from ourselves. Separating you from yourself. Now, how can you still be you, but you separated from yourself? What did that even mean? First of all, who is you? Answer that. That point, who are you? Oh, I'm Jonathan. Okay, Jonathan. What is Jonathan?
Yeah.
Jonathan is a cook at the restaurant. Okay, Jonathan is a cook at the restaurant. What else does Jonathan do? You know, and then you start to learn that. You see all this shit is some physical shit you put in a Facebook profile. And they say, that's you. That's who you are. Now, that's you until a certain point when you get to the point of like, yo, this is just the shit I do on planet Earth. This is your avatar's name. For anybody who don't play the game, what you do when you log on to that bitch? You name your character. And then you pick his attributes. This nigga got extra strength. Or if you can't have the strength, you get the extra speed. Or the extra intelligence. Or the boom. It gotta balance out somewhere. You can't just have all your stats maxed out. You gotta start somewhere and you build from there. And each person has a strength. I don't give a fuck if all your stats is on one, but then your funniness is on two. Nigga, you got an affinity towards a good sense of humor. And that don't mean you just gotta be a comedian. People get too boxed in because we've been taught that. So I understand where y'all coming from. But we get too boxed in into thinking this means this. Green means green. No, nigga, green. I could make green look like a damn purple. You feel me? If I mix the right shit, because you got other shit to mix into that. You're not just stuck with, oh, I'm kind of funny. So you being kind of funny could lead to you being a therapist. You understanding all kind of ways, and you might invent a new vein. We don't got enough of that, but I want to get niggas inventing again, bro. We need more people coming up with real shit to just enjoy life. Everything's so money focused and so boom, get back to having fun. That's another part of your childlike self. That little nigga wasn't thinking about how I'm gonna pay XYZ. He wanted to play with some dinosaurs and Power Rangers.
What?
Or some Barbie dolls, whatever the fuck I was into as a kid. I race cars, you know, because it's fun. And honestly, that's become one of the pillars of my life. I done it don't want to do nothing if it don't actually make me feel something when I think about it. When I think about doing it, I'm like, oh, yeah, we finna, yeah. If it don't sound fun to me, I'm so not interested, you know. And it's crazy too because that done made me have to adapt certain shit into like a way of thinking, like for certain jobs. Like I'm telling myself, I'm like, yeah, I don't do nothing unless it's fun, then I'm at work. And I'm like, yeah, this is real fun. You know, it made me had to transmute like, wait a minute, this shit is fun.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm building myself. Damn, I'm in here building myself a bridge to paradise.
Yeah.
Oh, bet. You gotta learn to And at first it felt fake, but then you start to be like, shit, it ain't no different than the other shit I was thinking.
Real shit.
I'm just choosing this, and then eventually, you get out of certain places, you get out of certain relationships, you get out of dealing with certain energies, and you get into dealing with some shit that directly give back and forth to each other, because reciprocity, that's what Lauryn Hill taught us about. Nobody listen. You know, remember, there's denial and then delusion. These are two things that they put in. What's this shit called back here? These are two mild forms of what they put in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 4th edition. The DSM-IVTR. This big ass book motherfuckers gotta memorize to be able to identify people's mental disorders. And when you look in that book and you see some of the shit they're describing, you like, damn. I mean, from my perspective, someone who's occulted and into different information, I'm seeing what they're describing, and I'm like, y'all describing people who think outside the box. Y'all describing anybody who don't have a sane thought. And what is sane? You niggas been propagated too. The shit that you even calling and saying is normal, we all know it's some bullshit. You sitting there with your family watching some shit, and they be like, and y'all all be like, look at this shit. And then that's the president, the motherfucker they got run. Y'all making great points. What you gonna do about it? Is you finna get yourself right? Because that's what the whole thing about. And this ain't some, like, I'm all for people getting together, but bro, I'm not trying to get y'all to get up and be better. I'm really asking you, because like, what's going on? What's the goal? What is we doing? You know what I mean?
That shit.
Hold on. Man, had to take some calls and shit, man.
Yeah, man, shit. I think these seemingly opposite of these dualistic things is the key to realizing your essence, you know what I'm saying, and really being able to operate from a certain place, you know what I'm saying. It's like you get put in by this shit if you don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't view myself as part of the ties. It goes so whoever, you know, and my experience would be probably, at least my emotional reaction. Even if I had a great life, living food for me, whatever it has, belief or hope or whatever, like my level of understanding being in the world would only be a great person because I don't have the reference to what is behind it, you know. And when you do have a reference to what is behind that, it don't have to stop doing that said thing. That okay, now, say for example, like say, you know, say I'm on as a rapper or whatever, support, whatever you want to call it. And then all of a sudden, that shit just kind of ended. Instead of looking at shit as like something divine attack, you know what I'm saying, something like that, I just know it's a part of life, you know what I'm saying? And at the height of the music career, that might be or not be. And even if it was absolutely wonderful, like that shit is only it's a sandcastle. You know what I'm saying? It's not it's last, it's never going to last. It will build to last. So I don't fucking come back to the beach and expect that shit to be still be there. I'm saying, but when it's not over, I'm not fucking in shock. I know it's a fucking sandcastle. You know what I'm saying? And what can I do?
You saying the sandcastle is what?
The sandcastle is
Like, what's that compared to what people do?
just your life in general. Your life, you know, your life experience, your expression from your people, you know what I'm saying? Just shit is coming and going, such as that, you know what I'm saying? And when it's wet, it's sitting solid, you know, that shit when you put it together, and then you realize it's easily breakable apart, you know what I'm saying?
It's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter of
That's like coming from.
it's gonna come, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna go. It's gonna come, you know what I'm saying? Shit like
That's actually it's cool. Still appreciate it. Still being something while it's here. You know, that's part of the whole like alchemy. You know,
exactly.
transmuting what's the whole alchemy about turning the shit into gold, right? Or lead into gold, yeah. So we're turning whatever into whatever your desired outcome to gold, and then man, it just be so much. That should be striking ideas into like. There's so many stories, you know, so many stories of like historical almost. But then of course they don't know what stories about the Vahanas, you know, the Mayans of India and shit, the flying ships and shit like that. They said no, those ain't them. They was writing this because they take mushrooms, like, but they always put XYZ on, like, no, it wasn't no flying head people, like, you know. Who cares really what it was or wasn't? What I'm saying is like you don't know. So what they telling you this, they forcing that. If you think that and you damn near imagine somebody excited about donuts, right? Like they excited about them. All they do is I gotta sell today. That's what they doing. Like just happy donuts. Oh good, you good. Do that shit about dumb crazy thoughts. Oh man, I think the guys I never was people. But now you cooked.
Yeah.
You cooked. If you get too out there about it, just acting like it's just normal because they don't want people that free. That's what the whole One Piece is about. I'm a fellow straw hats out there. Y'all know this whole dream things, but you acting like a Navy Marine, like, yes, sir, yes, you. Or you going to horse and you going to hire with purpose. You here just on the seas, pillaging. Wherever you come across, that's somebody, mama, man. That's somebody, brother, and you don't give a fuck who you do, what you do, and that's okay. I don't know, but at some point, when somebody who does things like that, when you look back, you like, damn, I know something to people, you reflect like, oh, fuck it. I was just, and what happened? Whatever emotions come up when we reflect and get back, time that was weird, man, that as the first step into what you need to do next. Like, take it as a sign to reflect, okay, I was rocking motherfuckers, that shit just don't feel right no more. Instead of just stop, I'm gonna give back. Because that's what's missing, is everybody ain't got nothing to give now. Everybody's like, no, I need all this hard shit. You can't fuck, I'm always gonna fuck that, man. Hey, that's $5 right now. You think Kayla not go get her toes done still? I'm gonna break off to get right, like, come on, bro. Everybody got shit, you still got to handle. And then the more you disconnect from noticing from idea, what you thought you wanted, you get what you really needed, whether you knew it or not. That's how you have it, be like, damn, I'm bro. And it's crazy because when I went broke, he said, what how you doing? I be like, I'm good. And I really mean that shit. Even if shit is going on, I really need to vent to nobody. Like, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm good, man. And I mean that. And you gotta learn to just really be amazing inside your soul, really feel and cultivate critical culture of like bliss and just the most beautiful things you can imagine. Because I'll start tapping into more topics as well, but as far as like magic, programming, ritual work, spells, sigils, understanding the subconscious mind, breath work, breathing did a number on me when I figured out how to breathe. And most people breathe right here. Take a breath right now. Your shit probably came right here, and you can feel it. You know how you can feel it? Because take a deep breath for 10 seconds. Your belly expands. Your belly naturally going to expand. Quit fighting it. But you usually will be fighting it. So it's important to feel that to understand. I'm resisting. There was a tension when I tried to. It's like you couldn't pull the breath in all the way. We can do the exercise right now. You guys going to feel that tension down anywhere past your sternum. Because most people's breath don't go below as the lungs go down into your abdomen. So when you take that deep breath and you feel air in your fucking back and your hips and your ass and shit, you like, damn, you feel blood flowing. That lets you know there's some more going on than what you were doing your whole life. Your whole life you've been shallow breathing, low brain activity, tired, don't know why you sick. It's because you ain't getting no oxygen. Fucking breathe. And it's crazy because niggas be learning shit and still acting like they don't know it. You know what I'm saying? And it's fucked up because there's so many distractions, and it's not to find out about. Like don't get distracted and then get back on it and be feeling bad about getting distracted. Just do what you got to do. You know, and it's fucked up because that's the real trick that people is playing on your with. Clubbing Saturday night, being in a whole Sunday, you in church praising the Lord. Like that's the biggest trick right there. That it's the same thing as I'm describing. They said this is what you actually do for yourself. You don't need to go give money to, 1C3 government organization entity ran by who has to go through certain certifications that basically inundate him into the type of nigga who is come to a church and teach you about shit in a certain way to maintain a certain mind frame. 501c3 equal evil pastor. I don't give a fuck what none of y'all saying, bro. And I used to want one too. I used to want 501c3 until I learned what company. I thought it was just a tag off you to get in, boom, boom, boom. And there's certain shit I've seen niggas talk about that I still look into, but in general, what you gonna find is a person leading a group of believers and just twisting it. They know how to play because that's what they do when I think back to my own church. You feel me? And this ain't no this to the pastor, but my own church experience. My most significant memory of church was sick. You feel me? That was in one time I was in church and I felt like I was burning alive. I don't know what was going on. Man, oh, okay. I thought I was burning alive. I was like, what is that feeling? Who knows what I was feeling? I was on some kind of drug or something. That ass felt. I told my dad, I said, I feel like I'm burning. Everybody was, oh, what? They was the first one in here. I'm telling them, yeah, I feel. And then we left. My grown ass there, the 10-year-old heard him say that, and I was like, let's go. It wasn't on some fucking shit. And they even asked me, like, shit, where we go? You know what I mean? And the second part, shit, when I went to motherfucking, what they call it, Sunday school, or the youth, when one of the pastors take all the kids up to a room and talk to them, you feel me? And that's the youth section of the preaching, like that. And they're all there, over there. Man, we went up there. Pastor gets it. This is the pastor, like, she gets breaking it down. She, hey, guys, how you know, she just wipe all nice and sweet. We get up there, she said, listen, little mother. Type shit. Like, I was talking, it was like a gangster. And it was like, y'all right at that age where you gonna start fucking. I know y'all know what fucking is. I'm just sitting there like, hey, yo, like, what is she saying? And I do know all these things, but we never had any thought speak to us that way, the way they would come into our world. Like, no, little motherfucker, I see you, I know everything you be thinking about doing. I've had me before. It actually ended up having a negative impact on me. Overall, ended up having positive. At the time, it was negative. I was like, oh, this is something you gotta do. So, what they told us was, listen, so you need that age where you're going to start Googling out you and y'all going to start drooling over them. So, let me tell you this. Your cousin who, after you baby mama that his life fucked up and he's so stressed out, are you going to be like that? Nope. Yeah, you are. You know why? Because you're going to fall victim to the shit that they've been pushing on. I said, I'm like, huh? And that, yeah. You know what sex is, right? Yeah. You know what love is? Yeah. No, what the fuck you don't? That's the song you're trying to tell us something. Like, love is a chemical created when two people put their things together. I'm like, well, duh, I mean, yeah, you fucking, science, scientific. Love, the thing that people call love is a feeling. That feeling comes from a man and a woman that fuck. And the more you fuck, the stronger you feel love. But actually what's happening, the more of that chemical is being produced by them. That's love. And that, for women, will make them smash your shit and burn your shit. So be very careful. And we did this for like 3 weeks. I remember shit. Every time we went to church, it was a couple times a week. They was telling us like different versions of this. And I was like, what the fuck? Because in my mind, all I could think was shit. So I give me some, I'm gonna make sure I fuck shit up, and I'm gonna keep on fucking real good, like, and just for some reason that's what makes sense to me, because who don't want love? I just went to church and they told me how to, that's what I remember from church. Maybe that's what on me, because that's all I got from it. But because I'm talking about shit, they called me down there to give my life to Jesus one time. I felt into that shit. I really was like, I mean, I was honestly considering it. Probably would have got to that point, but it wasn't. It ain't you choose, nigga. We choosing. You give life to the Lord. And Lord, yeah. But I was standing there like, yes, come, son. Come. Your ass go up there and you come by and he bless you, and like one of the ladies falling out, shaking and shit. And I'm like, I looked at it and was like, man, this is some bullshit. I was like, bro, this, I mean, I do love Jesus, though. Like, oh God, I love Jesus. What the fuck, man? Yeah, bless you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you get in the spirit of like, doing this, that little shit. There is some energy there. There is something being had there. There is not nothing happening. What's happening is the state of mind these people is getting into, even though it's coming from, even though it's ultimately some false shit, they feel like it's real. And the energy they come into it, I think really do give them something in like, beyond just, you know, being a pawn. That's where it stops. It works for you, and it really ain't too much that beyond like just playing out the system that was set for you. You feel me? Eventually, I'm like, I don't care who meant harm to me or who was trying to brainwash. I don't give a fuck. I know what I done seen. I can't spend too much time pondering on why motherfuckers do, X, Y, Z. Especially starting to dive into like the biology and shit like that, and seeing like how they say reality and how everything sort of unfolded from one source point and shit like that. We dark as hell. But yeah, but it's crazy just how to see that and to understand. Oh, you niggas have a whole working understanding of everything that happens. I ain't y'all sharing that. Oh, our religion, and we it just so happened to be the religion, so-called religion, or really a spiritual system of some people who didn't exist until 60 years ago. Like, when did Israel become a fucking state? In the 60s, like, it just became a state. Some of your grandparents older than motherfuckers. And it's crazy because every place that they go to, they get kicked out of. And they only gain an identity by taking the identity of those two they've been kicked from. This shit change every time. All these motherfuckers got different identities. Who are these motherfuckers? But that should be worrying me too, because when I look at the fucking situation with the smart guys, it's like, okay. Like, so they, anytime I feel like a motherfucker make it feel like, oh, they're the evil ones. I got something. Raise up, bro. I get the raise, like, yo, hold on. So I wonder about what they got going on, because it feels so good to feel vindicated and say, oh, they're the evil people, fuck them, they're the reason everything. Everybody want to blame somebody. The blame ultimately is you. You don't want more power. So what we're talking about, and after that, you can assign accountability based on what actually is. But I don't think we really are the way here with what's going on with the niggas. I be wondering, like, I wonder, like, could they be under some kind of control from other entities? Did they come upon themselves, and now we're dealing with the repercussions about them? And I mean, it ain't like they even necessarily bad themselves. If you really look at these deities and shit, you start to see how people use the deity as a means to do some bullshit. The deity, like, shit, nigga, I can't football that. And then people like, oh, you know what? We can worship the blood god, and we don't sacrifice our babies to him. Shit just get weird. Shit get extra weird. Like, I'm in the period where you should earn a little bit of money. I like sacrificing kids and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, some shit be symbolic to that. They don't take this shit beyond literal. You know, they didn't demonize every form of every even the word demon. The word demon comes from the word demon, which is a spirit. You know, and it's just twisted. Come on, bro. Come on. I feel like I'm learn one way. But I think what's down here too long. I ain't wanna close it off. Just end it. But if you got something you want to say, go ahead.
Shit, ultimately, just to bring it back to being the opposite, I feel like shit, yeah, just the whole point of even talking about this is to realize, hey, at least socially, we live in a fragmented society. Often polarizing points of view at the least, and that means all this dysfunction is something that I'm not even going to tell you. And the whole point is for you to rise above, be transcendent of that. You know what I'm saying? And that does not mean to escape or run away from what's happening. It means to be able to look at it for what it is in a holistic view. You know what I'm saying? More, you know what I'm saying? We're seeing it as for what it is versus one section of it as part of it. You know what I'm saying? And when you're able to move and see things from the total to a holistic view, you're one at peace more, you know what I'm saying? not emphasizing certain characteristics. Even though you're looking out at the door, you see all that as one big, you know what I'm saying? This is I know so much more. It's one thing I say earlier too. Something that also can happen, and I believe it's the book that's it's like I don't know exact time, but I'm just everyday life, something along those lines. Anyway, saying that if you put like for example, if it's a random toys or whatever, and they're on the table, that was just if you put the frame on one thing, like say yeah, a bunch of random toys, it's not a bunch of random shit. It's not more holistic. You know? And
It's like art.
exactly. Framing in this regard would be the understanding of yourself